welcome back to another Conductor live stream. I am joined by the one and only Tommy Toon World Jr., which is Mondo's co-host when they go to Universal, and the one and only, the spicy, sweet George, the Disney Italiano. Tommy Toon World, it's always great to have you on the show. I feel like you need to be my co-host. You're on here more than anybody. But where can everyone find you on social media?
Man, what's up, fellas? Man, happy birthday, Conductor, bro. Nice special birthday HHN talk today. Yeah, what's up, Junior? What's up, George?
Tommy.
Man, what's up, man? You can find me on YouTube if you want to check out food reviews and stuff at Tommy Toon World, and then on Instagram for all the pictures and up-to-date news at TommyToon_.
Absolutely. Always great to have you. Junior, this is your very first time on the show. I did have you on Spaces about a week ago. We were giggling like high school kids when HHN news was breaking. So it's always great to have you. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Well, first, Conductor, happy birthday. Hope you have a wonderful birthday today. Thank you for having me. You can find me on Instagram, Universal Disney Fan. You can find me on TikTok, RPenaJR89, and on X, RPenaJR89.
Absolutely. Great having you on, Junior. And the one and only spicy, sweet Disney George the Italiano. Always great to have you on. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Absolutely. And first off, again, thank you for having me on, Conductor, and have a happy birthday. So glad to be on this birthday stream, talking HHN with you, gentlemen. And yeah, you can find me on Orange Grove 55, where I have my own little segment, Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And also you can find me on my new YouTube channel, Citrico Central, sister channel to Orange Grove 55, where I basically am in the parks, vlogging, doing dining reviews, all that good jazz. And you can also find me on Instagram at both the Disney Italiano and Citrico Central.
Absolutely. And I want to actually give a shout out to George, because I saw your post this morning that you surpassed 300 subscribers on your brand new channel. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to the absolute hard work that you were doing, because when I hung out with you, OG55, Tommy Toon World, and Webba, and everybody, you were hard at work, and even Hey Bricky took over your live stream. I love that. That was just a magical moment.
I know. How dare he?
Oh, man. So, Junior, I want to ask you right off the bat. So we have two announcements so far. We have Five Nights at Freddy's, and we have the what was the other one? We have, see, I'm already losing my train of thought.
Fallout.
See, 33, and I'm already losing it. Great. I'll wait until I turn 50. Good Lord.
50. Wait till you turn 34.
It's gonna get worse. But Junior, Five Nights at Freddy's. We all experienced going through the Dungeons and Dragons maze. Okay, and that was kind of a unique way how they did a walkthrough attraction, kind of different from a standard HHN house. And we've talked about it. Do you think one of these houses for HHN could be laid out this year like that?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, the question is, will it work like Touch of the Dragons or Five Nights at Freddy's? Because go in a group. That's the question. Because it could be like 3 hour away. It's not going to work out. So it just could be a regular house.
Yeah.
They already confirmed on HHN interview, John Murray and Orlando.
Yeah.
Back the house. So I'm excited for that now.
Definitely. Well, George, I want to ask you the same question, because you also experienced a lot of the walkthroughs for FanFest, which was absolutely incredible. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's possible, that one of these houses could be like that, or do you agree with Junior that it would just take too long?
I think there's a time and a place for everything. I feel like in that environment of FanFest, it works really well with Dungeons and Dragons and Star Trek and what have you. I feel like with HHN, I think it has a more bigger demographic and it's very more popular. And I feel like if they was to do that, I'm not saying that it wouldn't be successful. It very well could be. But I think with the format of what HHN is, I think that would kind of take too longer of a process because of the amount of people that's going to be there at the park.
Oh, 100%. Tommy, I know you didn't get to, well, actually you did do FanFest nights one night. I want to ask you the exact same question. Walking through Star Trek, walking through Dungeons and Dragons, do you honestly think that one of these HHN houses could be like that? Or do you agree it would take too long?
So I definitely agree that it was going to take too long if it's these houses that we get. You know what I mean? These are some crazy houses. And the thing is, though, when they're kind of explaining Fallout, I mean, it could go the house way because that's what it's probably going to be. It could go, the other way, too. But, man, the one thing with Dungeons and Star Trek, I kind of want the immersion. I feel immersed when I'm looking at everything around me and the actors are acting. But I just feel like with the housing and the HHN houses, you're walking in a straight line and it's dark, bro. And it's just, and for 5 nights, you want them popping out. You know what I mean? I don't really want to watch a story. I want to be involved, man. I want them scaring
Honestly,
me.
What I would love to see, and I know that they won't do this because, again, of how complex it would be for 5 nights. I would love an escape room. Like, I would love to do like a 5 Nights at Freddy escape room where it's like you're trapped in there and you have to get your way out. And while you're trying to do so, you have them like just popping out at you. And it's like the longer you're in there, the more intense it gets.
You know what's funny about that? They have plenty of old Chuck E. Cheese buildings they could do that in. It's already laid out to a point.
That is true. That is true. I don't know what's more scarier though. 5 Nights at Freddy's or actually Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh my god, that old school Chucky one is probably up there, bro.
Oh man, I want to ask you fellas. I'm going to start with Junior again. Having Fallout as a house. I know a lot of people are excited for it. Did you ever play the video games?
I have for the Xbox 360. I have, but
okay.
To be honest, I'm not really a RPG person.
But
I have played the game though. I mean, it's a fun game.
Definitely.
But I haven't seen the show yet. That's a problem with me. I gotta watch the show first.
Yeah, the show. I heard the show is really good. I haven't watched it myself. I need to actually. I'm beginning like OG. He has a laundry list of just movies and shows he wants to watch, but hasn't watched yet. I'm growing that list. There's a bunch of shows and movies I want to see and I haven't. So I got to watch it myself probably before HHN in 2 months. But are you surprised that they decided to bring this house, or what was it a most anticipated house?
I thought it was, well, it was supposed to come last year. That was speculation, but it never did. So it was what was it? Well, last year's original, the zombie one. Dead Exposure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we finally got it this year. But I'm like, do I see it as a horror though? That's the thing.
Oh yeah.
I just don't see it as a horror though. I just don't.
Well, see, the thing is, I kind of George. Did you ever play Fallout, or Tommy? Did you ever play it?
I played. Which Fallout was that? Fallout 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I played Fallout 4. I locked in like 75 hours, bro.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Man.
Now
that's the only one I played, though.
I'm very curious to see like how they incorporate that in like in this kind of setting. Even like with the the horrors of like the wrestling, which is intriguing to me. I think that's going to be very interesting, but it has to be done with taste where it fits the theme of like how much of horror are you talking about? Because it's like the one house I remember doing last year, and I kind of get the concept, but it was like for me it was like The Weeknd, Like
Okay.
for me, like it just didn't hit the right notes for me with that.
Sure.
And I know it was more of a promotional because they had like the little bar lounge upstairs with the specialty drink, and I mean it was very popular, so I could see why they brought that back. But
Sure.
I'm like walking through this thing and it's like I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'm not creeped out by it, and that's the whole purpose of HHN. I want to see like how much they can test the boundaries of how much that they can like freak me out.
Oh
well,
yeah.
Fallout has a lot, with the ghouls and everything, and then they'll probably, I mean, they already kind of wrote about it and talked about it, how you'll start in the vault and then you'll come out and there'll be like kind of nuclear or whatever, and then you'll have the ghouls and stuff. Bro, I don't know. I mean, I would say this is going to be more the cool spectacle and the
I agree.
the wonder, because Stranger Things and Last of Us. Well, Last of Us is kind of scary, but Stranger Things wasn't that scary. I mean, it's kind of cool to look at, right? So I feel like Fallout's like that, like The Weekend. It's not super scary, but it's still cool to look at.
When I see Fallout and Stranger Things, I see them as fan fest nights.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I see them.
Yeah.
They know how to pull it off, though. They know how to do it. They know how to pull it off. So
Definitely.
to experience it and see how it goes.
Hey, it's always possible. And Junior kind of, I see Junior's post on X all the time to John Murdy. You and him have a connection.
Yeah, we go way
back. Yeah, he answers you pretty quick.
Yeah, we go way back.
That's pretty awesome. I want to ask you about the next house, Junior, because you were at Monster Palooza, I think with Mondo, right? Or did you go by yourself?
He was there on Friday. I was there on Saturday.
Okay. So, Terrifier. What can you tell us about that?
Terrifier. I was hoping they would announce that instead of Fallout. But no. But Terrifier, I mean, it's 100% legit that it's coming. It is.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that, Junior, and I think I mentioned it on my Spaces when I did it a week ago when all the news was breaking, was that when me and Tommy went to, I think it was Texas, one of the nights, I don't think it was the first night, it might have been the first night or the third night, we saw the actual actor that plays Terrifier. He was hanging out right in front of Texas to enter the line queue, and we thought it was interesting. We're all like, isn't that what's his name from Terrifier? And that just popped in my mind and kept in my mind all year long, saying, why would he be there if they're not interested?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
last year at the opening, I'm like, what the heck is he doing here?
Right. So Junior, do you think it's going to be a mixture of all three movies, or is it just Terrifier 2?
Well, here's the thing. I'll tell you the story when I was at Monster Palooza. So I saw David Howard Norton with my buddy Brian, and we were talking to him, and he asked him, "What would if you had a house?" He didn't say where, like horror night, none of that. He just said, "If there was your house, what would you like to see in it?" And he said, "Part 2. I want to see part 2. Everything with part 2." Like,
right.
Seeing everything, I'm like, "Oh, all right." So right before we left, we told him, "See you in the fog," and he gave us a wink.
Yeah.
Good. That was
that's cracking, bro.
Man. George, I don't think I've asked you about Terrifier. Have you seen any of the movies?
I've seen bits and pieces of them.
Okay.
I know like how extremely intense they are. Terrifier is one of the houses that I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna give me a run for my money of like the creep factor, because I mean, just him dressed up as like Santa Claus sitting at the kitchen counter eating cookies and milk is like freaking creepy. It's like, so I mean, I'm very curious. I would say, and again, there may be some that surprise me, but Terrifier and Poltergeist, I think, is really gonna like be like the top notch for this year for sure.
Well, see, Tommy, I'm going to get to a question with Junior in a second, but Tommy, I want to ask you, how excited are you for Terrifier? Like from 1 to 10, or does it go past 10?
Man, I'm ready, man. I'm on 10 all day with that. Man, Terrifier 3 was popping, but yeah, like Junior said, Terrifier 2 is where it's at. Man, that shit is borderline. Like, how many times can you watch that movie, right? But that's why, George, if you haven't watched it, don't watch it. No, I'm just kidding. It's bad, man. They're bad, but they're good. You know what I mean? That's the thing. So I want to see it come back with number 4 and how it ends and everything. But yeah, house-wise, bro, they got to lock in. I know John Murdy will handle it.
Oh, 100%. So, Junior, I want to ask you because George brought up Poltergeist.
Yes.
You know, since it's in that Curious George parking lot or back parking lot, you know, since the facade looks pretty much done,
yeah,
are you surprised at all they haven't announced that house since it's a dead giveaway?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, they should have announced it like right when the facade was up. All right, let's announce it. Put the guys back.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're gonna announce that the last, like without trailer, nothing, just like that.
Yeah, because when you look at Poltergeist from the studio tour, and you look at Scarecrow the Reaping, where that's going on the T-pad, you already know what it is. It's like, if they're dead giveaways, why sit there and drag it on and just not announce it already?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I noticed with HHN, at least the last couple years, is the fact that they won't release merch for that IP until it's announced. So it's kind of like they're I wouldn't say they're shooting themselves in the foot, but they're missing out on sales because people want to buy the HHN merch. Because I can promise you, when Terrifier merch drops, Five Nights at Freddy merch drops, within an hour, that stuff is going to be sold out.
Oh yeah,
right.
That's a dead giveaway.
Yeah, right away.
And I even think Scarecrow the Reaping is going to have a lot of great merch because they had a lot of great merch the first time around.
Yeah, they never had Scarecrow merch though. Hopefully they do this.
I thought they did. I thought they had some type of shirt or something.
Nope. Oh, hopefully this year.
Well, what was it? What was it on that one shirt that has all the houses and usually has the logo in the front? Because that's the shirt I usually buy, and I couldn't swore they had the name on the back of the shirt, but I can't swear to that.
It's like Evil Dead Rise. It was on the merch with all the houses. It was.
Yeah.
Hey,
I got a quick question.
Sure.
Anybody could grab this question. So, for the horrors of WWE, would you guys want that to be multiple wrestlers or just the Wyatt Six? You know, like
I think. Well, I'm going to let Junior answer this because you guys are the WWE fans.
I mean, I say the Wyatt Six only because, to honor Bray Wyatt.
Right.
To honor him. I mean, to add the Undertaker in it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't. So it just...
Yeah, and I don't want them together, like combined, yeah.
And what was the Undertaker? It would have to include Kane and Paul Bearer. That makes sense right there.
Wow, Paul Bearer, man, they could do a lot for him, huh?
Yeah, but I say the Wyatt Six alone, just to have 200 Bray Wyatt. He loved horror stuff, so yeah, just the Wyatt Six.
Right, and we could say that's basically confirmed with WWE and Universal partnering up for that sweepstakes and stuff, right? Or what do you think?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm gonna keep saying right now it's to be determined, but
okay.
That makes sense right there. Sweepstakes.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. George, what do you think about a WWE house based off the Wyatt Six coming?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how they tackle that one. Did they confirm exactly the location? Is it going in
Jurassic?
Okay. Yeah, I'm very curious. I mean, they could do like multiple wrestlers and everything, but I think if they were to do that, I think it would be kind of lost in context. I think like if they just kind of like focus on like one, you know, particular wrestler or like just a completed kind of like storyline where it would make sense. But I do think like in time that if this does work, I would love to see like Undertaker, Kane, like that kind of stuff. Who is the one that, I mean, this is an older wrestler. I know he's not like as popular, but he used to like drink from the chalice and spit out. Yes.
Gangrel, yeah.
Yeah, like I would love like to get like that, like those kind of like
Vampire,
fits in the genre for HHN. That would be really cool.
Oh,
That's
definitely.
solid.
Well, the Giant Peter show says Undertaker, Kane, Paul Bearer, and even the Undertaker's motorcycle in the house.
Yeah.
And then he
He'll
also
pull that off.
Yeah. He also said Bray Wyatt was legit terrifying. I believe that.
No, he really was. Like anytime like when I watched like an episode of like wrestling and you would know like the lights just blink off, you know what's coming, but you don't know like in what way that he's just gonna just pop up out of nowhere. Like, oh man.
Because I think the maze is gonna be about Firefly Funhouse, because we never saw what it looks like outside the house.
No.
They never showed it. Only the
Well, Mondo
That's
Mondo keeps teasing. I'm surprised he hasn't hashtagged it on X yet, because every time he takes a picture of it or Junior takes a picture of it, he always comments, "Oh, look, there's the Pizza Hut house."
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what it looks like on the outside. It looks like a Pizza Hut. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. Chris West, shout out to Chris West. He's always a great contributor on the live streams and on Instagram. He keeps me and Tommy updated all the time. He said it would be a passion project for Universal to create Mike Angelo, since he is a big WWE fan. What do you guys think about that?
See, there you go, man. Chris knows a lot already. He knows what's up, man. I'm with Chris on that.
And then Jacob Weller says El Torito, and he also says the Bull. Interesting. So the next house I want to talk about is Monstros. Okay, Junior, you can kind of give us a little background on this. So is this going to be our third iterations of Montrose, and what can we expect?
Yeah, I mean, if this is gonna be the last, might as well go out with the bang, you know, the trilogy. But if you guys never heard the story of the Island of Dolls, you know, it's true. It's really haunted on the island. You know, I've seen the episode of Ghost Adventures when they investigated her. Really creepy. So
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, really creepy, but I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I'm sure they know how to pull it off like they always do. So I'm expecting to see like a doll puppet, maybe like try to grab you or a witch. But it's exciting though. It's exciting.
George?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of like the Monstrose house. I mean, I love like how they like the things that you find in there are just like absolutely amazing, where there's times where it's like you get creeped out by it, but then you just like stop and you look and you're like, wow, I can't believe they actually came up with like something like that. And that's just how I am. Like a lot of times where, and actually this kind of answers to like what Jacob Weller was saying a few minutes ago. I'm not like a huge fan of horror, but I mean, I do enjoy like the creativity behind it and the notion of trying to be scared. I mean, I dealt with it for like 10 years. So, I mean, that equals about 9 sequels for me. But also, to also protect Abby. Yeah. Cause she kind of goes along for it, but majority of the time she's like barricaded underneath my arm. So, but it's always a good time. It's always fun. But this particular with the Monstros, I'm very curious to see what they do this time around.
Definitely. And before we get to Tommy, I want to shout out to our 2 moderators, Mondo, who's doing baby duty right now, and our one and only Orange Grove 55. So 2 of our best moderators are on the live stream. So shout out to you guys. Tommy, what do you think about creepy, haunted dolls in the dark popping up at you.
Man, this is gonna be sketchy, man. Like Junior said, the story is real or whatever. It's scary, bro. Like I feel like Monstros 2 kind of had the dolls hanging from the tree, right? They kind of were getting ready for it, I guess. This was like one of the houses we were like waiting on, or we damn near knew about. This is gonna be scary, man. I didn't know it was gonna be the last one if it's Monstros 3. So man, because I'll love to see this just keep going. I know people are getting burnt out on it, but I love all the the lore.
Oh, 100%. You know, I saw the same episode Junior saw because I love Ghost Adventures. I love watching it. I tell you, Junior, I'm going to tell you this right now. I watched that episode one time in like a year. Okay. I had to take a year away from it because I was off, right? So I'm like, I'll throw on some Discovery Channel Plus and crack it open at 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, that was a big no, especially for that episode. That was not good. That was so bad. But you know what's funny? I kind of had, this was another feeling in the back of my mind that we were going to get Monstros back this year, and it was going to have something to do with dolls because of what the facade looked like last year. So it was like another Easter egg. So I wonder, Junior, if John Murdy and the team are starting to do that now, whether it's the facades or whether it's, actors from, horror genre movies coming to visit the event that's not surrounded by security, just hanging out with everybody, or scenes in these houses could be Easter eggs for the next year's event. Do you think that's possible?
Could be possible. I mean, everyone's gonna be fed up with Monsters every year,
But
see that 7 years in a row, 8 years, then let's move on, But
it's going the way of Michael Myers.
Yeah. Same thing with Universal Monsters since 2018.
Well, that's a good point that you brought that up now, Junior. So, we have this speculation list in this map, but there's no Universal Monsters on it. So, you think are they skipping it or what?
Finally, yeah, they're skipping it. Finally, no more. It was just a bloodline. It was just pretty terrible. Awful maze. They hated it. It was so boring. So they knew, like, you know what? Let's just give it a break. Not this year.
Yeah.
We'll just give them a break.
To give.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, to give credit though, the Universal Monsters, they'll always have a place at Universal, but I do agree with Junior. It was time for them to take a break, just like Chucky, because that Chucky show they had, what was it, last year or the year before? It was god awful. It was.
Well, you don't know yet. You don't know. They might still do a Chucky.
You didn't enjoy Late Night with Chucky?
No, I watched the video and that was. My eyes were starting to bleed. It was that bad.
Really? Wow. I actually enjoyed that.
Really?
Because the thing with Chucky is he is a little terrifier, but I mean, like, at the same time, he still has like that comedic charm for whatever reason. So I feel like if you were to do something in the late night, I think it's kind of cool that he interacts with the guests and like you can ask questions and he could pull those questions and make something of it. And then at the very end, he kind of disappears and he goes up to like the sound booth and you hear the screaming and the blood splattering. I actually enjoyed that.
Okay, well, to be fair, it's not that I hate Chucky because I love Chucky. It just years prior, because OG told me while we're all hanging out at Disneyland for the 70th, he said he kind of took a 20+ year hiatus away from HHN. So to see something like that, I get it. But me, Junior, and Mondo that have been they've been going way past 2016. I started going to the event in 2016 and saw iterations of Chucky repeated multiple times every single year. So for me, it
gets monotonous.
Yeah. But to be fair, though, I'm kind of glad they kind of turned him into like a Jimmy Fallon from hell. I guess. But
well, I mean, if you were to watch Jimmy Fallon in general, that's just hell. But it's
Hey, you're speaking to the choir because Universal High hates that guy. He wants him off the damn studio tour. I think Junior agrees with that.
Yeah.
Give us Spielberg back or something. Good Lord. Or somebody.
Hey, so since we're talking about the Chucky show, so for the DreamWorks theater, what do you think we're getting there? And then do you think we're still getting Purge at Waterworld? Anybody?
Nah, the Purge is coming back for sure. No doubt about that. It's coming back. It's really
See now with Purge at Waterworld, that I really wasn't too big of a fan of.
Yeah.
I feel like that, I don't know, it just didn't fit well with the setting. So it kind of like threw it out of context for me, but I think they really should utilize that space for something. I just don't think that the Purge is the right IP for it. Actually, and Tommy, I was going to ask that same question with Chucky not returning. I'm trying to think what would like fit well in a theater, because you would have to find something that obviously you're sitting in a theater, so it has to be some sort of engagement to what's going on. So I'm very curious to see what they would put in there.
Well, okay, so I want to pull up a comment from Chris West. He said the Purge show won some type of award, so I see it coming back. I don't know what award that was, but the fact that it did win a award means that they would probably bring it back.
What was it, a Razzie?
A Razzie? or
the mace right there again, the Waterworld, and not the show.
Or was it a Scooby snack? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so again, I just want to make it clear, it's not that I hate Chucky. I watched the POV and I kind of had mixed thoughts about it. It's not that I loved it, but it's not that I hated it either. I was like in between. But the fact that they didn't have him on the studio tour was great, and they had him in an isolated area, which is great. Oh god, OG's already on a meme. Breaking news: Conductor hates Chucky. Oh, thanks, OG. Happy birthday to me. Thanks for that meme. I love it. Wow.
Hey, you never know. For your birthday, you might get a good guy doll.
Oh no!
I better carry a Rosemary with me, because I don't know what's going to happen with that. I want to ask you next about the Terror Tram. Okay, the Terror Tram being Blumhouse. When it came last year and it had Blumhouse Jr., what did you think about that?
It was awesome. I think it's one of the best Terror Trams ever since Freddy Krueger 2008.
Okay.
It did so well. The Megas were awesome. The Grabber were amazing. They were all out. They had the energy.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and the Purge again. I'm like, again.
Yeah.
Of course, but other than that, it was really amazing. I enjoyed it a lot. So I see it coming back again with Megan 2.0, the new black phone, and the Purge. Of course, will probably come back. I'd rather have Michael Myers instead.
Yeah.
It's Blumhouse.
Exactly. One thing that I would wish to God that Universal can somehow acquire is the rights to have Michael Myers in the newer movies. I think John Murdy could really do some magic with that if we were granted access to the newer movies. Like, Halloween Kills, for example, would be a great house. I can only imagine.
Well, John Murdy has told me a story about Halloween 2018.
Yeah.
That was supposed to come in 2018. It was supposed to.
Wow.
The thing is, the rights to Miramax Disney, so they went with Halloween 4.
Yeah. Wow.
That's what happened.
Definitely. George, I want to ask you, because you did the Terror Tram last year, right?
I did. For me, that was like the highlight of
Okay.
HHN. I mean, I loved everything else, but the Terror Tram was absolutely incredible.
Well, it's interesting because Junior knows, and if we had Mondo, he would say the same thing. The Terror Tram has gotten a lot of hate for years because it's been lackluster. But last year, even though you got those haters that will bend over backwards and say they hated it. I thought it was actually pretty well. I thought it was really well done. Me and Tommy did the RIP experience the first night, and what they had to offer, and that was pretty awesome as well. So I wasn't disappointed. Now with this Terror Tram 2 based with Blumhouse, yeah, I do want to see a Megan 2.0. I do want to see a new Terrifier, or not Terrifier. I want to see a new Black Phone, probably with his mask ripped like off, where his face is all, you know, chewed up and whatnot. I think that would be awesome. I think,
absolutely. Yeah, and I could definitely see them bringing back Megan, obviously, for the marketing of Megan 2.0 and what have you. And honestly, even to incorporate Megan more, I would love to see, based off of what the trailer looks like for the sequel, maybe like have like maybe something of a show, like a battle sequence between the two girls. Like that would be really cool.
Definitely.
What I can see Megan is going to DreamWorks Theater as well, like a show.
What is?
Megan 2.0 in DreamWorks Theater. I can see that happening again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That, you know, when they had Megan in there, that was our first, again, another Easter egg. We walked into that lobby and we saw the Five Nights at Freddy animatronics. So I knew from that point, I'm like, we're getting Five Nights at Freddy's. It's happening. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. And man, you know, going back to Five Nights at Freddy for a second, Junior, do you think they're going to use some of the props from the first movie, like actual movie props or the actual animatronics, or do you think they're working with the production team that made Five Nights at Freddy possible and trying to make their own version of these animatronics?
Well, on the interview, HHN, John Murray said that the John Henson, the Christian shop that did the film animatronic, they're gonna do that for Horror Nights. That's what they said.
Oh, really? So we're gonna have our own animatronics. We're not borrowing it from the studio.
No.
Wow. So you can imagine what type of spin John Murdy and the team's gonna put on those things. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait, dude. Oh my gosh. Jacob Weller says a Terror Tram with Jurassic Park would be cool. What do you guys think about that?
That would be cool. I mean, I see that the fan fest though, honestly, the walkthrough and so.
Oh, sure. But I do have to say though, a Jurassic Park, either Terror Tram or even a house. I'm going to be honest with you. If I saw a Velociraptor chasing me in the house and he's dripping blood from his mouth, I don't know if that's FanFest related. I'd be terrified.
Well, here's the thing, because Don at Universal Orlando, I had the opportunity to meet Blue.
Okay.
And I have to say, just that moment, because you can only just stand there and she's behind you, and of how like she just like leans her head in for the picture, and you hear the snarling and the growling and the mouth is open with the teeth, and you don't know what she's going to do. And then all of a sudden she just like does this like lunge snap at you and you just like jerk back. And that's just one dino. So to actually have, you know, multiple dinos where you're like walking into, you know, you don't know where they're going to pop up at. I think that would be a really cool addition for that as well.
Oh, 100%. Tommy, what do you think about that? If they brought that as either a Terror Tram or they brought that as a house?
Man, they could do a lot with it if, you know, they let them work with it. Like, you know, the Jurassic Park, the first one is almost like a horror movie. I mean, they could do the scene where the guy's in the porta potty or whatever and it gets ripped off. They could do the kitchen scene, with the Velociraptors, and you're kind of like in the kitchen, then you hear the sound and they're coming in. I mean, they could do a lot with that. I don't know why they haven't, but like Junior said, I could see that at FanFest nice, 100%.
Definitely. You know, it's interesting since we're talking about Jurassic Park. Junior, you probably know a little bit more news about it than I do. I've kind of heard bits and pieces for the new event that's happening this summer at Universal Studios Hollywood for the summer event. Can you enlighten everybody watching the stream on what additions are coming to the Jurassic World attraction?
Yeah, so the spitters will be on the ride. They will be coming back. I think they're gonna add something and right at the beginning when they open the door, something like that. Based on the new movie that's coming out.
Okay.
And then the water splash is finally coming back, so can't wait for that.
Man, you gonna get soaked.
It's needed. And am I missing something? I know there's more, right? Or is that it?
I think that was it. I think they're, like you said, they're adding the spitter dinosaurs back in. They're adding they're refixing the cannons when you go down the drop and it just shoots everywhere. I thought there was one more thing they were doing right when you go up the main lift hill and then you go down just before you see blue off in the right. There was something there they were going to do. I just don't remember. I could see it definitely being a fan fest attraction. Where they would put it, I don't know, but I would personally like to see it in the soundstage, probably soundstage 12, because they can make that thing pretty tall and pretty big.
That's perfect. It's really big soundstage, so they could put it there.
Oh, definitely. And Chris West, he posted, just looked it up. They won IAPA Brass Ring Award for the most creative Halloween production.
Huh. Interesting.
That's solid. Yeah. Hey, shout out Chris, man. He got the info.
Oh, 100%. And then a good friend, David, he asked, what was so bad about that episode? He's referring to the Ghost Adventure episode. David, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to watch that episode, just don't watch it late at night. That's all I'm going to tell you. Don't do that unless you want to have nightmares for days. So just don't. But the next house I want to talk about with you guys is the Legacy of Voorhees, because we saw something very similar to this for Leatherface last year. You know, what could we see with the Legacy of Voorhees, like different iterations of Jason Voorhees going from the original all the way to current?
Yeah.
Oh, boy,
yeah, I'm thinking like Camp Crystal Lake. I'm thinking maybe some parts from New York. Man, it'd be crazy if they had Jason X in there. I don't know though. I mean, who knows? Some of those are kind of laughable, but who knows, man? Yeah.
Junior,
I'm curious, like, as how it would be, like, in a scare factor, like walking into that, like being vulnerable. I'm not a huge fan of Jason just in general, like the franchise. I'd rather watch Michael Myers, to be honest. But I think, like, if done well, like if they incorporate, like as Tommy was saying, different scenes of the movies, I think it would be really cool.
Yeah. Junior, what do you think?
Well, let me just say that finally we're gonna see Jason. Finally, it's been 16 years since the last 2008.
20s. Wow.
I mean, what I like to see in that maze, like Tommy said, part 1, 2, 3, New York, Jason X. That would be cool.
That'd be dope.
Right.
So, I mean, I can tell you guys the rumor is 100% legit. It's true.
Wow.
So,
That's crazy.
So what's not legit so far? Like, what's not legit on the list?
So what I was told, they already announced Five Nights at Freddy's Fallout. The Terror of Terrifier, that's true. Jason is true. It's just Monstros and just only Monstros, that's it.
Wow. So this is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. So what do you guys think? What are the bars going to be themed this year? Like, it's the weekend and stuff, like, and then upstairs on the upper lot. What do you think the bars will be?
It has to be Five Nights at Freddy's bar.
Oh, dude. Oh, hands down.
I'll take it.
I would love to see that. George, out of all these IPs, okay, out of all these IPs, what would you like to see as a bar?
As a bar, I think they could probably do something. Probably like if they were to do like with the wrestling, I think that would be like a lot kind of attached, sort of like how they did with the weekend. Like I feel like because like the wrestling federation is like very big when it comes to its loyal fans and everything, and I think they have like that kind of connection to it. I think that would, if Universal wanted to like capitalize on that, I think that would be a really creative way to like mix like have like certain drinks like represent different wrestlers based off of like the style of the drink and what have you. I think that would be really cool.
I agree.
Yeah, I would love that.
I agree. If it was a wrestling bar, they gotta have Stone Cold beer in there.
Oh,
Oh
no.
yeah.
They have to add it in there. That's a must.
Oh, 100%. Okay, so let's transition from a bar to food. What would you like to see food-wise out of these IPs right here?
Oh, it has to be.
Well, so it got to be Jason. Got to be the barbecue, right?
Or Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria.
Yeah.
We need that pizza. Yeah, we need the Five Nights pizza.
Basically,
yeah, let's do that.
Like any cut of meat needs to be rare. Like literally, it just needs to be like as raw as it can be.
Oh, 100%.
The ice cream, it should be wrestling. Remember the back in the days, the ice cream bar?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, that's solid.
Yeah, that would be dope.
Who wouldn't want that?
Oh, I would want
That's
that.
it.
Oh, you imagine what food items they would have for the Terrifier, dude. Bloody, gory.
Oh, dude. Well, they could have like a stand that just like has a bunch of like different like chicken items, and they could call it Poultrygeist.
There you go. Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be pretty sick. So I want to ask you guys something else, because me and Tommy, and shout out to Tommy. I'm not going to go into detail, but shout out to Tommy for getting the tickets for me and him for RIP the first night. He locked it in for me and him. Junior, George, if you guys did the RIP tour at any point, okay, for this season, because I know for the last couple of years we've been missing a scare actor that's like a personal scare actor for the Moulin Rouge during the RIP dinner. What scare actor would you like to see from any of these IPs?
Oh, Jason, one of the wrestlers, one of the characters for Five Nights at Freddy's, and Terrifier.
Okay.
Yeah, I could say
yep.
yeah, either Jason, the Terrifier would probably be for me like the top two.
Oh, 100%. Personally, for me, I'm gonna actually go with a Five Nights at Freddy, or I'm gonna go with. I gotta go with my OG. I gotta go with Voorhees. I grew up watching that. I grew up with him and Michael Myers, even though I wasn't born in '78. I'm a '90s kid, but I still enjoyed it during Halloween.
Is this actually really weird that I used to purposely watch Friday the 13th just to help me fall asleep? I don't know, for some reason, like it wouldn't keep me up. Like I was trying to get to sleep and I'd be like, okay, I'll just throw on a Jason movie just to kind of fall asleep.
And you say you're not a horror fan.
He's a horror fan. Oh my god!
Right.
Oh,
right.
he's definitely a horror fan. Jacob Weller said a robotic animatronic cafe for Five Nights at Freddy would be cool. I could see that. I could see that in Mel's Diner.
That would be fire.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Let's be realistic though. So where Texas barbecue was, that could be Jason's food. The ice cream area, what would that be? Poltergeist ice cream, maybe. Then the bar would be Five Nights. Then come upstairs, and then maybe have like a Fallout section, or no?
Maybe in the plaza or the Cocina Mexicana, maybe around there.
Right.
I don't know. It's a possibility, but if you have the pizza place down below, how can you justify having a restaurant? If it's
Well,
gonna
so the bar would still be Five Nights, but then the pizza place could be the restaurant. Yeah, like you said. Yeah, so two different things maybe.
got it.
Here's
Okay.
the thing, though, because there's a Mason and Jurassic. What if there's no bar this year? Because they use that for the light queue.
Possible.
Mm.
But don't they use the don't they use the bar for upstairs though? You think they would use that as line queue?
Yeah, that's been used back in the day.
Oh, that's right. No. You are right, because I remember they did that for oh my god, Insidious.
Yeah, and then
Here.
you go on the right side, like when you go into the Super Nintendo area.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, dude, I remember that. See, I wonder how that's gonna work now, because if they would use that for extended queue, but they also want to use that two spaces for a bar, how are they gonna separate it? Because when you do the RIP tour, one of the things is, so like for the weekend, for example, when me and Tommy went there, on the left side closest to like above Jurassic Outfitters, you have the weekend bar, which is for everybody. Off to the right, you have the weekend bar, but it's only for RIP guests. So I wonder how they're going to do that. That's going to be really interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, unless they don't bring the bar this year, they just leave it on top, up and down now.
Yeah, or they move it somewhere upstairs.
Yeah,
they could put it in the plaza, because that seems where most of the alcohol vendors are at anyway. They could do that.
Or they could just do like a bar stand.
Yeah,
somewhere.
they could do that. They could definitely do that. I gotta bring up a comment. This is for George. He knows what this comment means. I'm at work, so been in and out. Have we had a joke from George yet? OG, actually we have, but not verbally. His shirt that he's wearing is an ex-wife joke. So,
and then he threw a light jab without saying ex-wife. He said 9.5, 10 years.
Yes,
like,
you caught it. Yes,
I caught it, bro. I caught it.
I threw it in there, and I thought, no reaction. I wonder if anyone caught it. But I'm glad you did get it. Yes, that was.
Man, oh, that's awesome. Albert Rodriguez, always great to have him on. Whoa, caught me off guard with a midday stream. Yeah, well, it's my B-day, so I have to do it. I have to hang out with my bros. I have to do it. It's necessary. But, one of the things I want to bring up to George and Tommy, because Tommy and I kind of talked about it a little bit. Junior, we talked about it on the spaces, and a good friend of you and Mondo's, Jennifer, brought it up during Mondo's space, I think the day before, was that with the scare zones, because possibly in 2026, early 2026, The Simpsons could be going behind construction walls to be de-themed. Do you think we might get a scare zone in that area for the last time before it turns into Epcot 3.0 with the walls?
For next year?
No, there it's going to be, supposedly it's rumored and talked about that it's going to be behind construction walls starting next year. Okay. So would they use that area for a scare zone, whether it's non-Simpsons related? Personally, for me, there's a Treehouse of Horror episode where Bart gets this Krusty doll, and it has a switch on the back of it where
that's why, honestly, I'm really surprised that they didn't utilize that and just retheme the land for the time being of a Treehouse of Horror episode. And honestly, even to the ride, I mean, the ride is screen-based, so I mean, they could have easily created like a different storyline for the ride that showcases the Treehouse of Horror. I don't know why they didn't like jump at the chance with that.
Like Disney with Guardians of the Galaxy, they transform it to Halloween style.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the saddest part out of all of it is, if they don't decide to do it, which they probably won't, is that Disney would never, ever, and I mean ever, if they ever brought the Simpsons into the theme parks, which I think would be a bad idea. But if they did, there would be no way in heck, even for Oogie Boogie Bash and the Halloween party they have in Walt Disney World, there would be no way that they would ever introduce Treehouse of Horrors. Never.
And a lot of people have been requesting that too, Treehouse of Horrors, for so many years, and they just won't do it.
I know, and it's really, 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 really sad, Tommy. Because obviously you could see from the speculation map, there's 3 scare zones, none of them confirmed yet, by far. Would you want to see a Treehouse of Horrors type scare zone for the last year of The Simpsons before it goes behind walls?
Man, of course I would want to see Treehouse of Horror in any aspect, mainly a house, but in any aspect. But man, just not trying to derive from it too quick, but aren't the scare zones usually like non-IP related, or has there been, IP related ones?
Well, Junior can answer that.
Trick or Treat 2018.
Okay.
So that was
That's
IP.
fine.
That was IP.
Yeah.
That's IP scare zone.
Interesting.
Oh man, Junior, did you like the Trick or Treat at Six Flags last year?
It was awful. Nowhere near.
I'll take it. Really?
Well, speaking of that, because it looked like last year, me and Tommy were talking about it while we were hanging out at Universal all weekend for HHN and trying not to pass out for the Hello Kitty grand opening. That was brutal. That was like being tortured. But we were talking about it, saying how stacked Six Flags was for their Fright Fest. And when Tommy went there, Tommy, what type of experience did you have? Because obviously Junior didn't like his experience. So what was your experience like?
Man, it was kind of rough. Like the Conjuring House line was hella long, and then I didn't even get the nun jumping out of the picture at me and stuff. I liked Saw the best. The Saw House was fire. The actors were going hard in that one, at least during my walkthrough. So that's why I was cool with that. But my biggest takeaway was the Saw House.
Okay. Junior, what was yours? Or did you even have one?
The Stranger Things, it was one of the worst Maze year experience.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Bad experience. There were no actors. There was crazy. Right at the exit, all you see is Vecna floating up at the end. That's it. That's what you're giving us? That's that?
Gosh.
Oh my.
It almost sounds like, and not to diss Six Flags, but it almost sounds like you were paid to have a bad experience.
Yeah.
Oh, but bro, you know what I loved at Six Flags? It was at nighttime, bro, and it was a maze. I don't know the name. I'm sorry, I don't know all of them. They had tons of houses, but it was a maze that led to the Zombie Vegas movie one with Batista, right? The Army of the Dead. But bro,
I didn't get a chance to experience that.
Oh yeah, so bro, like the maze that led to it was sick, bro. It was like a neighborhood, and it was like at night with street lamps, and like no one was behind me, so I was the only one walking through. And there's only one scare actor, but he was acting like a zombie. I was like, oh hell no, we're like the only ones here. So yeah, it was pretty spooky. I liked that part. I like that.
Oh man.
I mean, the song was the best maze for me. It was
really?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
George, did you do Six Flags at all last year or no?
I haven't. I actually haven't been to Six Flags out here in general yet.
Wow.
Hey, we gotta go, bro.
Hey, whenever hit me up, because as I said, I'm a throw junkie, so it's like, we do those coasters and all that. Yeah, I'm all for it, definitely.
Well, we already know that because we'll have OG and Wizard holding all the gear. Why me, you, and Tommy are on the Fast and Furious coaster because they said you wouldn't catch me dead on that coaster. I'm like, okay.
That would be cool though, because Webba and OG were the three of us were talking about Six Flags, and I'm like, that'd be cool, but it's like, I mean, I could do rides by myself, but it's like if I wanted to go, like I need like someone that actually enjoys going on the thrill ride. So like, yeah, maybe the 5 of us can can do a
100%.
Six Flags day.
I will say though, I enjoyed a lot more with the original maze than the IPs, to be honest.
Yeah.
The original mazes are going hard there.
I have so many scares out of nowhere, more than HHN. To me, I'm like, what the heck? How am I scared and not HHN? That's weird.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's saying a lot.
Definitely.
Oh, point.
So I want to go through some comments real quick. Albert Rodriguez said last year Murdy talked about an Alice in Wonderland zone that might work. Junior, what do you think about that?
Yeah, there was a long rumor last year. I was told I was gonna have it, but I don't know what happened. Maybe it got scratched or something.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Tommy, I want to ask you about it as well because they've actually done something I haven't seen in a while. They actually took, I'm going to just call it the kettle black. They took innocent Disney characters that you could tell that are Disney characters, like Winnie the Pooh. I think they even did one with Mickey Mouse and turned it into a horror movie. I think there was some type of clip about Alice in Wonderland. I could be wrong though, but you know, would you want something like that?
Yeah, if it's generalized, I'll take it. I'm just trying to think what it could be. You know what I mean? Of course, it would be like trippy stuff, but are the characters? They can't be too themed. I'm just really. It's just hard for me to think like outside of the IP zone because last year what we had wrestling, we had punks, and then something else. You know, so of course we're gonna get the crows again, right?
Oh yeah,
I think so. But see, I don't know how that's going to work, Junior, because I want to bring up something that you and Mondo have seen recently. I saw it at the AP Takeover night the other night when I was there, was that the Fast and Furious construction walls have actually expanded into the plaza, and that's usually where the crows hang out. So what's going to happen with that when HHN comes around? Are they going to back the walls back or?
Yeah, they'll pack it down more. They're just like adding the concrete, you know, because the concrete still have the animal shows, so that's what they're doing.
Sure. Okay, so we could possibly see the walls go back in the next couple months.
I can say I know what they are, but I can't say it.
Okay, well,
I can't say you guys. Sorry,
I'm not going to get you into trouble. So don't say it.
Just follow Immortal Mask. Just follow me.
Immortal Mask.
Just follow me.
Okay, I will do so. And then a comment from Albert again was, I was asking Murdy if he thought about doing a Last of Us zone with clickers and runners. They already have the mass. What do you guys think about that?
Like I said, I'm not too sure on IPs for the scare zones because I think they would just bring it back. But that would be scary as hell to have clickers chasing after me or bloaters walking down, looking at you like that. I mean, I would love that, but, you know, and then I would love zombies to come back from Walking Dead. I know shit's played out, but I'll take that for a scare zone.
Junior has an opinion about that. Oh, my God.
Killer Clowns scare zone. I wish we would have had it here, too.
Yeah. Yeah,
that would be fire. Killer Clowns,
because Killer Clowns was actually pretty. The first iteration of that house was pretty awesome. This last one, I kind of like. It was good, but I'm like, kind of. I don't know.
Oh, hey, Junior, I'm looking at the Immortal Masks on Instagram right now, so I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta look now. You said Instagram. While we're all talking about it, I gotta look. I'm not gonna say anything, but
I can't say, but
I
knows what they post a teaser. I'm like, oh, okay, this is it right here. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Okay. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Okay, well, yeah. So it's it's a possibility. You know, one thing, you know, to quote Albert on that, I would like to see him in the Terra Tram, like walking around like the crash site. Oh, dude. I mean,
That'd be clean.
George, what do you think about that? Would you like to be chased by clickers, or well, you'd probably carry what, some Italian food and just throw it off to the side and then run away, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Like, yeah. See, here's the thing. I love, like, I know it sounds weird, but I like that kind of stuff where that, like, when I know that, okay, I'm in that setting, like that I'm being chased by somebody, and it's like there's nothing I could do about it. Like but here's the thing. Like, usually, like, someone would kind of like, you know, kind of like try to run off or something. Like, for me, I just stand my ground. Like, if someone's coming towards me, I just puff out my chest and I'd be like bring it on. Like, it's that's the Italian in me. But I love that, though. You know, I'd be for it.
Definitely. And then I want to give a shout out to another moderator we have on the channel, Theme Park Wizard. He actually does travel bookings, and he does theme park tickets. So definitely go check him out. DM him on Instagram and get your tickets with him. He could get you a great deal. But you know, one thing I want to ask you guys is, because I think you and Mondo Jr. Brought it up, maybe in a live stream or a Spaces or something recently. You guys were talking about how we're paying for early entry.
Yeah.
Do you think early entry is going up this year?
Well, they're already selling it for $15 to $25 already.
Yeah.
I don't see it going more than 25. You know, that's too much. That's more.
Okay, so
yeah, I think Abby checked the prices, because I was asking her about that.
Okay, hold on. Oh, go ahead. I'm just trying to.
But I think, like, I mean, I don't know the exact number, but it was like, I don't know, for me it was like pricey to the fact of just to be able to get early entry, and I'm like, you know, is it really worth it?
Because I'm gonna pull it up right now. Okay.
On Nintendo for starting the early entry stuff.
Yeah. So early entry is, oh, there it is right there. So $15. So if we select this,
like Junior said, it's already like 20, 25 for some of the days. Yeah, look.
Yeah. So this is what we're looking at right now. So it goes all the way up to what, 25 or 30?
I don't see a 30.
Okay, so 25. Wow. But still, that's a lot of money. That's at least a beer and maybe, I don't know, a finger food or something for early entry. That's crazy.
Yeah, but you pay to play, right?
Exactly. You play the devil's advocate.
Yeah, because what happened last time, bro? We got the early entry, and you were able to lock in the signed record, bro, by Slash.
Okay, so it's funny because that was a crazy experience. Okay, you know, me and Tommy, we went in, did early entry, and one of the first things was I ran into the main Universal store. Okay, I ran in there, I talked to a team member right away. I said, hey, you know, what? And there was already like 20, 30 people waiting. I'm like, oh, shit. So I'm like, okay. So I talked to her, and she's like, well, I don't know if we're going to have a lot. There's a line. There's this. There's that. And she pulled me aside. Tommy wasn't with me. He was looking at some merch, but she pulled me aside. She's like, I'm going to tell you something. I shouldn't say this, but go down to the Transformers vault downstairs in the lower lot. They have not as much as us, but they have a decent amount, and there's nobody waiting there because no one knows about it. So that's
usually the typical. That's where I even found my FanFest stuff that I wanted was done in the lower part of the lot where the Transformers thing was, because a lot of people don't look there. They'll just go up to the upper part, just to the main store, and it's like, wow, yeah, there's a lot more stuff down here. Well, actually, now after saying that, now everyone's going to be down there. So
Right.
I just gave away a secret. Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
But Junior, were you able to grab one of those records last year?
Yeah, I got the autograph, and I'm selling it on eBay, but
yeah, so
right now.
yeah, so am I. I've had it listed since day one, and no movement. So I'm like, that's all right. I'll just keep it. So
Do you think we're gonna get another record this year, or no? Because Danny Elfman did the Epic Universe thing.
Well, he's supposed to do another music this year. We just don't know which one.
I know.
All right.
I know Slash is going to be involved in some aspect. I don't know for what though. Do you know, Junior, or no?
No, I don't know. Maybe it could be. No, it can't be for wrestling. Maybe I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. So Albert Rodriguez commented, he's like, the only thing from this spec map I do not want is another Blumhouse Terror Tram. If that's what we get, I'm skipping the tram this year.
All right, so hear me out. So what if we get Megan 2.0 scenes, and then we get Black Phone 2 scenes, and Black Phone didn't even come out yet because it comes out in October, right? So kind of like how they did Exorcist, The Believer that one year. We'll get something before.
I think they'll just do like a trailer based on the trailer for the Black Phone 2. The trailer, that's it.
Yeah. That trailer, I kid you not, was one of the best horror trailers I've seen in a while. That was pretty fire. George, I don't know if you saw it, but man, that trailer was amazing.
The scarier too. The scarier.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it, but I'll definitely check it out for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, just make sure it's not at night. Okay. Just don't do that.
Right. I don't know. I'm curious. See, now I'm curious to see it because I like to test my limits because, like, for some reason that stuff doesn't bother me. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Wow.
Dude, come on. Like, look what I was with for 10 years. Like, you can't get any
There it
Hey, OG, the second ex-wife joke. You saw it. Second ex-wife. I love it. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you right now. I am so glad we are close friends, George. I love those ex-wife jokes. Just takes me out of my bad mood and just brightens my day every time.
Yeah.
Man. Drew commented, he said, in the RIP tour details, it says you're only able to use the RIP line one time for each house. I thought you could do the RIP line as many times as you want. Okay, so this is an interesting topic I wanted to actually bring up, and shout out to Drew for making that comment, was the RIP tour. It's one of the most, well, it is the most expensive ticket for the event, And the fact that they used to, because they actually build a dedicated RIP line for
Let's click on it.
Okay.
Click on the selected tickets, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not unlimited no more?
I think last year they brought it back, but then the year prior they did not. It was one time, and then you were thrown into the express line with everyone else.
I see.
Oh, okay, I see. I think I spent that like that though, wasn't it?
Well, no, because one of the things with the RIP tour was that you were able to go through the RIP line whether you had the tour guide with you or not, because that was a benefit for buying the RIP tour. Because when you go to these houses, each house, they have 3 lines. They have a general admission line, they have an express line, and they have a RIP line. So my problem with that is, if you're going to build a dedicated line that takes effort to build, why would you only allow people to go through it one time? That's dumb.
Yeah.
Especially, well, look at it. So last year, I remember buying the ticket. I think it was $349 or $369, and now look at it, it's $419 now for the ticket. So if they bring back that policy where you can only do the RIP tour line one time with the guide, that's going to be very disappointing. Tommy, what do you say about that?
I think it still was 400 last year. I think it was.
Was it?
Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure that the Express Unlimited was 279 or 269, and then the other was 409 or maybe even 419. How it is, but what your question was from whoever wrote that in the comments. It looks like it's saying one-time RIP entry to each haunted house with the tour guide. That's what it seems like. I didn't know if that's what he meant or.
So
what are you guys getting? Yeah.
So I'm just going to comment real quick before I let Junior comment and then George. I think what he means is because we experienced it. You know, the people that bought the RIP tour was that you can only use the RIP tour line one time, and that was with the guide. After your tour is ended and you have 2-3 hours to just roam around and do whatever, you couldn't use the RIP tour line anymore, even though you had the credentials. They made
right. So they had that last year, but the year before that, it wasn't there opening weekend, right?
No, they didn't have it there last year, but the year prior they did.
No, it's vice versa. I'm pretty sure, bro.
You sure?
I don't know, Junior. What do you think?
Well, regardless.
2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago?
Oh, okay, so it was 2 years ago. Okay, that's my fault. But still,
that was my fault.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But you're still paying that amount of money, and it's kind of like you're getting ripped off. George, you know what that feels like because you went to the After Dark event, not to jump off the rails, but you went to the After Dark event at Disney, and there was a character you were really hoping to see, and you couldn't see him because they kind of misled you and didn't give you the correct information. Can you tell everyone about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, it became a run-on joke that anytime this kind of situation happens, whether it's Disney or Universal, we always say we got Darkwing Ducked, because that was literally the character that I really wanted to see. I mean, he's not a regular character that they have out. You know, it was, fortunate that they brought 90s Night back to Disneyland. And I thought, okay, this is going to be cool. I get to finally meet Darkwing Duck. And due to the lack of information that was given, that it was told upon that night, well, actually, even before the event started, that you needed a specialty wristband to get into the queue line to meet him and get your picture taken. Nothing was mentioned to that in the description in the email confirmation. And they were giving the wristbands out like at 5:30, 6 p.m., like literally 3.5 hours before the event. And again, no one knew about it. So for how people ended up filling up the queue literally within a half hour is beyond me. And that goes the same for, I think, Huey, Dewey, and Louie as well. But for Darkwing Duck, yeah, I ended up going up to the Fantasyland Theater, and it was like, where is the to get into the queue for Darkwing Duck? Because I'm like, I'll wait an hour or so. I always wanted to wait for, and they said, oh, we were giving out specialty wristbands, and I was like, okay, where do I go to get a wristband? Oh, so sorry, we're done for this evening. I'm like, are you serious? And man, I was so pissed just to the fact of, because if I'm paying an extra charged premium price for an after hours ticket, and I'm not just speaking for me, everybody should have that opportunity to do what they have for those after hour events. Now, I do know, as far as like with the RIP tour, being that it's an extra paid thing on top of it, it's a higher tier thing. Obviously, you would get more than someone that's paying less, as it should be. That's fine. Yeah. But to that same degree, that, yeah, if you're paying $419 per person, that, I'm sorry, even if your tour guide is done with you and you have that credential for the rest of the evening, you should be able to go through a specialty line if you wanted to do a house again or to do something. That shouldn't just be a one and done.
Yeah.
It's like you're paying for something that is high end, but then once you're done with your tour guide, okay, then you just become a regular standard ticket holder and you're in line with everybody else. It's like, okay, well, what did I pay for?
Exactly. Right. Junior, what do you think about that? Because, you know, going through Express, if you look at Express, I'm going to base it off the unlimited. I'm not talking about the Express because Express, it's a one and done show. So I'm going to go the unlimited route. So $279, you get to use Express all night long at each house. And you look at this, $419, and you can only use the RIP tour line one time. And then you get bumped into the crowd with them paying $279, and you pay an extra, I'm just going to estimate, $130, and you're stuck with them now.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty stupid to do that. You know, you're paying so much money for the RIP tour. You know, you should be able to use the RIP lines too, you know?
Yeah. And Albert posted, he said, I did the RIP tour the last 2 years and I could do RIP lines all night. The tour guide even tells you that. Well, Albert, I don't know if you did it opening weekend or the weekend after, but usually opening weekend, I'm going to be honest with you, and this goes with any like Universal or Disney, when they're running an event, obviously the team members, the cast members do their absolute best, but there's going to be flaws in the system. That's just a given. There's no perfect grand opening night of anything. Things happen. So I don't know if you did it the second or third or fourth weekend after grand opening, but when me and Tommy did it 2 years ago, opening weekend, they had the policy where it was a one and done situation. So, he did it in October. Well, that's why. We did it grand opening weekend. So there were unclear directions on what is going on.
See, and that's, to me, that's what's the so frustrating part. Not even just with Universal, but this goes for Disney or any other kind of theme park with after hours. It's like, you should know this shit before you have opening weekend opened. Like I can't stand when they use that excuse to say, well, it's opening weekend, you know, we're not doing this, because whoever's going opening weekend, you're paying the same amount that anyone else is doing throughout the rest of the season. So why should you get the short end of the stick if you're going opening weekend? Yeah. So if someone tells me, oh, well, it's because it's opening weekend, we have bugs in the system. Okay, fine. Well, if you have bugs in the system, then make sure there's a bug in the system that you give me half my money back.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not getting the full price tier of what I'm paying for, then I'm sorry, that's no excuse.
Yeah. You know, I kind of feel that, you know, and one of the frustrating things, George, at least out here, and Junior can tell you, Mondo couldn't have told you if he was on, was that when it comes to HHN for years now, Orlando always gets dates announced at the very earliest, and we're like last on the plate to get an announcement. And you got people, I kid you not, you got people from the East Coast flying out here, the East Coast. Mm-hmm. And they need time to book their hotel, book their flights, book a rent-a-car if they want to rent a car, because there's a lot to do in Hollywood. But, you know, it's that type of issue that I wish they would correct. Now, this year, they, you know, to do them justice, they did announce dates. They didn't release tickets until days ago, but they did release dates. So a while back when they did do it, people were able to book their flights. They were able to book their hotels. They were able to put in vacation requests from work. So at least that was good. But then what's going to happen next year is they're going to revert back, and they're not going to, hopefully they don't do this, but they're going to revert back and go and announce dates like in late March or late April, and people are going to panic because now they're trying to do all this crazy stuff, and now they might be paying a higher premium for travel because it's closer to the event than they want. So that's a problem I see. I'm trying to think. Looking at this page real quick about the RIP tour. Do you guys see what I see when it says Universal Express or unlimited access with the RIP tour credentials at select houses, rides, and attractions for the night of your tour? Express access is a separate line with a shorter wait time. So when they make a comment like that, it's telling me that basically they're going to do the one and done situation. And I'm not liking that.
Yeah, they got to fix all that.
I'm not liking it. And George, we know how you feel about it, because you're paying a lot of money. $419 is not cheap for the average person just to fork out for a one night stand, as I call it, of fun. It's just it's super expensive.
Yeah, and in that case, you don't want to be caught with your pants down.
No.
But I always have this mentality for it, and I know a lot of people think differently because it depends on to your liking, to your discretion of like what you enjoy as far as entertainment goes. But being that I am a cruise guy, I kind of like add that into the equation every time of like how much something is. And when I look at a price like that, and because I do love to cruise, especially on Disney, it's like $419. Dang, that's like a deposit done for a 7-night cruise in the Caribbean. And I'm like, and that's $419 just for one night. And you're going to tell me that I can't keep going back in if I want to see it. It's just a one and done thing. See, that's where I get like a difference in comparison. But again, it's to one's own liking. If someone, has the money and they're willing to, want to experience that regardless if it's a one and done, all power to you. But I just think that if you're going to charge something that kind of price, and I just say that for Universal, I say that for Disney too. If you're going to pay that price, you have to give people of what they're paying for.
Definitely. And something that I want to bring up as well is the mere fact that Disney, because Disney has their own VIP tours, obviously it's way more expensive than Universal, but even Disney cast members who work in the VIP tour department, years and years and years back, they did a tour, the VIP tour at Universal, and they actually came out with statements publicly saying how much better Universal treats their guests during a VIP tour. So when I see something like this, it angers me, but it upsets me at the same time, because I don't want to be a one and done. I don't want to have to share a line with Express. Why should I have to fork over $130 to say I went through the RIP tour line once? And I don't like that.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? It's almost like take Lightning Lane at Disney, for example. You're paying an upcharge price to skip a line, when in reality you're skipping partial of the queue.
Yeah.
And then you are merged into the rest of the line.
Yeah.
See, to me, okay, then what am I paying for? I'm paying not to skip the line. I'm paying to get halfway through, and then I'm put in with the rest of the crowd. That's kind of what this reminds me of, where it's like you're paying for something, you're doing it one time, and then it's like, okay, well, you did it. That was your experience. That's what you paid for. Now go stand in line with somebody that paid, as you said, conductor, maybe like $130, $140 some dollars less. And it's like, well, they're kind of banking for their buck, because now they can do whatever they want to do with the unlimited for less, I paid more for a one-time experience, and now here I am with someone that paid less.
Exactly. Now there's a lot of time where they can reword this and change it, but it angers people like us, like me and Tommy and others who pay this type of price because they want to experience something like that. They want to have, that type of experience. And
Now, can I ask you
Sure.
both, Conductor and Tommy, when
Sure.
you guys decided to do the RIP, did you know of this before you decided, and you're like, you know what, we'll just do it anyway, or did you already have your tickets and then found out about this?
So actually,
here, let me go first. So, hey, so to be honest, bro, the RIP for me is the buffet, and for them to get you into everything there. Once I'm done with that, I feel like RIP's done. My money's done. That's what I bought. Let's say if you're brand new too, they'll get you in every house. They'll get you dinner. You know what I mean? They'll get you on the tram. They'll get you on the shows. As long as it's almost like a time management thing. They're almost like you're paying them for them to manage your time properly so you can knock everything out in one day.
Okay,
Yeah.
now let me ask you, and Conductor, you can go back to my old question. So I have a question within the question, because last year I ended up doing with Abby, with OG, with Weba. I don't think we had the unlimited.
Okay.
We just had like the one-time express,
Sure.
which we were able to do everything. Now, the only thing that, from what you described, Tommy, that wasn't included was the buffet. So in my mind, I'm thinking, we still time managed everything that we wanted to do, and we were very satisfied. So I guess for me, it's like, okay, do I want to spend $419 just for adding a buffet? So like, is there anything?
I guess not.
Is there anything different, like with the tour guide, that is separate than just going through Express?
So I'm going to go on Universal's defense just for a second. So several things that they do offer besides the dinner. You do have your own private cash bar, okay. Within the dinner. They do encourage you to come back kind of like around like 10 or 11 at night, because usually the event will close at 2, and they have a dessert bar, which they have all these desserts out, and then they still have the cash bar open. And then obviously you get valet parking for free. You do get a commemorative lanyard. You guys have seen it. They come out with one every single year. It's an exclusive lanyard with exclusive credentials themed to HHN, whatever the theme might be that year. So you do have that. Another thing is when they take you on the backlot tour, okay, heading towards the Terror Tram, they do, you are on a smaller tram. It is air conditioned, and they give you free water. They encourage you to take as many waters as you like, because sometimes it gets hot. And then they do have exclusive photo ops throughout the Terror Tram and certain areas of the park, which is only RIP exclusive. So that's only to their...
Okay, so there is other extra features tied with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure, because I'm actually, this is the first time I'm like really, hearing about the RIP tour. When you guys first told me the first time that you guys were doing, I'm like, oh really? I never really paid attention to it, because actually last year was my first time ever doing HHN, and I will say that Universal does so far, and I hope they keep up with that. They do a much better operational after hours event than Disney is at the moment. So definitely that's why I wasn't too sure of that.
No worries. And talking about after hours events, I think Universal at the moment completely blows Disney out of the water when it comes to after hour events.
Yes,
because it really honestly does believe that they do take care of their past members. Like I said, they just had a AP takeover night, which they usually have 2 or 3 per year, which is only exclusive to them. Also, one of the things that I could say is like Fan Fest is just a prime example. You know, you got people that were, I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but totally Disney fans and not Universal fans that went to that event and said, whoa, this is what Universal's offering. Holy crap. You know, so I'm not saying Disney doesn't have great events. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars Night. I love some of the festival holidays.
And they know the formula. Disney knows the formula. That's the frustrating thing. They just choose not to use it because they know people are going to buy tickets anyway. And it's like, well, here's your wooden cardboard cutout of the gummy bears. You know, go for it to have your photo taken. It's like, no, like bring the actual gummy bears out, like, and let them wander around the park. Don't hide them behind a wristband wall. You know, it's like,
definitely. And then Albert posted something about the dinner. He said, when I'm at the buffet, I snag a few sodas to take with me on the tour, enough to last me the night. So that's another thing too. They have like a little mini fridge in the dining room where it's fully stocked with drinks, with waters, with sodas, and whatnot. And I think they even have coffee that you can take on the go as well. And you can visit that buffet anytime. Like if so, that's one of the things I do like about the VIP tour or the RIP tour. So let's say, for example, just hypothetically, let's say there was 3 shows. I'm not saying there was, but let's say there was 3 shows and 8 houses. Let's say they got through the 8 houses, and the first show that we go to, we wanted to see, but the next 2 shows we did not. We could tell our tour guide, hey, you know what? We had an absolute blast, you know, but me and Tommy are going to just part ways. They're okay with that. And you could do whatever. You can literally do whatever and have your credentials with you. So that's another bonus that I kind of feel with the RIP tour and even the VIP tour during the day. But, you know, it's going to be an exciting year. We have a lot of great IPs. I can't wait. Junior, final thoughts on everything we talked about, on the houses that we see, because you looked at the spec map and you kind of have confirmed that he's pretty much 99% accurate.
Yeah, everything's accurate. I'm excited for this year. It's going to be one of the best year ever. You know, the best lineup since 2016. So I'm just excited to see Terrifier. That's my number 1. Jason. And I'm excited for Finals of Freddy's. You know, I can't wait, man. Really can't wait.
100%. George, final thoughts.
Yeah, after doing it last year for the first time, I was really anticipating on, you know, doing it again, you know, and I love, as Junior was saying, love the lineup. My top 3 is definitely Terrifier, Five Nights at Freddy's, and the wrestling one for sure. Those are my top 3, but I'm excited to see like all the houses, and eventually I will make my way down to Universal Orlando, you know, to experience theirs as well.
Oh, definitely. Me and Tommy definitely want to do that one of these years. We'll have to do that probably after Epic, because we got a pretty stacked lineup this year with Horror Unleashed, with HHN out here in Hollywood, and then months later trying to do Epic. But definitely we want to do Orlando as well. Tommy, final thoughts.
Man, I'm excited for this year. I'm just ready for it to start. I'm still excited to see the scare zones get announced, even though we may know what they are. My top 3 houses for sure are Five Nights, Terrifier, and then Jason. I'm going to have to put Jason in there, even though WWE is right up there. I'm interested in to see Scarecrow too, just because of the previous time we've had it, and then I'm going to the Horror Unleashed in Vegas, so I just want to see how different it's going to be. So I'm kind of pumped for that. And then, you know, we always do RIP tour, general admission, Express Unlimited. So I'm ready just to knock it all out.
Oh, definitely. And I have to say my top 3 would be probably Five Nights at Freddy's, the Jason Voorhees, and probably because I used to be a Fallout kid. I used to play it as a kid. I'm going to say Fallout. But don't get me wrong. This lineup, I am not disappointed in. I'm excited for everything. I have no bad judgment on any of this.
And they're all very different. Like they all have like their own like tone of like what you can expect when going into the Haas. I'm so glad that, you know, they kind of like give you a different variety of like what to expect, because you have like the slasher, you have the you have the wrestling, you have the kind of the paranormal activity kind of thing. So I love how there's like different genres tied to it.
Oh, definitely. And then I just want to get to the last two comments of the night. And then I want to thank everybody for joining, because this has been an absolute fun discussion by far. Dead Short Overkill says Five Nights at Freddy's security breach ruined super scary horror game by Steelwood Studios. Junior, you know anything about that?
I have never played the game, so.
Okay. Has anyone played the game?
I have not.
Okay, I haven't either. So
I'll take his word for it.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Albert says, I feel like I'm the only one hyped for Poltergeist and Scarecrow since I never done those. Okay, so Albert, I'm going to tell you right now, because Junior has experienced it. Tommy experienced it. I think it was Tommy's first time to HHN when that house came. Was it Tommy? I'm pretty sure it was.
I have not seen it yet. I have not seen Poltergeist. Is this the second or third time? Second.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And this will be the first time for Scarecrow for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna enlighten you guys, because me and Junior already know. I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna be disappointed. You're gonna get some amazing scares in there, amazing scenes. You will not be disappointed by far. Poltergeist, I'm sure it's going to be a great house as well. I didn't experience it the first time around, but I saw POVs, so I've seen what it offers. So I'm definitely intrigued by it. But for you and Albert, Tommy, I'm telling you right now, Scarecrow is going to be one of those houses like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what Vegas offers. You're going to be excited about it. You will not be disappointed by far. OG says, I was at Universal yesterday with a buddy, Epic Berzak. It's a
Epic Berserker.
Berserker. What kind of name is that? Does he have a Berserker attached to him?
Yeah, I think he told me it had something to do that was like an old name that he used like when he first created his YouTube. Yeah,
that's awesome. It's good to see Universal thriving. Absolutely. Because they're doing a lot of construction. Junior and Mondo are on top of that. Like every day I'm looking at their posts and there's something new going on.
Can you also bring up OG's last comment at the bottom?
Absolutely.
He says, when Disney and Universal are doing well, it's good for the fans. And I absolutely 100% agree. For both Disney fans, Universal fans, this is the time for, theme park enthusiasts. It's like, why choose one over the other? Just like, can we just enjoy it all? Like, can we just like have a Disney day or a Universal day, or like get caught up in a Disney moment or caught up in a Universal moment? It's like, just, you always have your passion. Like Disney is always going to be my number one. I'm biased to that, but I also enjoy Universal as well, because they deliver on different things and experiences that you can't get at Disney, and vice versa.
Definitely. I got to answer Chris West. He's the OG of our group here. Where are you going for B-Day dinner? Okay. I'm going to Lazy Dog. Lazy Dog. Get it?
There you go.
I love Lazy Dog, so that's where I'm going for my birthday dinner. But I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank our amazing guest, Tommy Toon World Jr., for the very first time. Many more times I'm going to have Junior on. George the Italiano, always great having him. His spicy and sweet comments are always a joy, and his ex-wife jokes are to die for. I love them. But make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. I'm your host, Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Bluesky at ThemeParkConductor, all one word. You can find me on X at ThemeConductor, also all one word. You can also find me usually on Sunday live streams at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but my schedule's kind of been all over the place because news breaks, and I'm like, I'm not waiting to Sunday to break this news. I'm doing it now. I'm too eager to do it. Like OG said, the caboose, man, the steamy caboose. Remember that, steamy caboose. But
that's usually what happens when you eat too much Taco Bell.
That's true. That is true. Or I eat Italian food. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Tommy, it was always a pleasure having you on. Like I said, you're basically a co-host on this channel. You're on here quite a bit. But where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, Conductor, man. Happy birthday again. Thanks for having me on. This was a fire talk with Junior and George, the Disney Italiano. Definitely look forward to the next one, because I know these HHN houses are dropping hopefully Friday for Friday the 13th, right? But yeah, you could catch me on Instagram at TommyToon_. Check out all the pictures and up-to-date stuff that I drop and have on there. And then YouTube at Tommy Toon World, all the food reviews.
Definitely. Always great having you on, Tommy. And Junior, for the very first time on the channel, absolutely enjoyed your company. I cannot wait to have you back on. And I can't wait to see you at Horror Nights. It's always great hanging out with you and Mondo. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, happy birthday, Conductor. Thank you for having me. I had a blast chatting with you guys about HHN. So, I'll join you guys more often. But you can find me on Instagram, Universal Disney Fan, where I drop updates, for Horror Night construction updates, Fast and Furious, everything. You can follow me on X, rpeñajr89, and TikTok, rpeñajr89.
Perfect. And again, it's always a pleasure to have you on, Junior, and talk Horror Nights and Universal with you. So I can't wait to see you in person again. And the one and only George, the Disney Italiano, from the new Citrico Central channel. Again, congratulations for going over 300 subscribers and growing. Again, it's always a pleasure talking with you about Disney with Universal, now HHN, and it was an absolute blast to hang out with you and OG during the Disneyland 70th grand opening day and weekend. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me on, Conductor. And again, a big happy birthday for you today, and many happy more. And yes, and you can find me on Orange Grove 55 with my segment Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And you could also find me on my new YouTube channel, Citrico Central, where I dive into all the vlogging in the parks at Disneyland, Walt Disney World, both Universal Orlando and Universal Hollywood. And yes, I will be doing a 300 sub live stream probably within the next day or so. So definitely check out for that. So for everyone, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can get all the notifications. I have a ton of content already on Citrico Central and a lot more to come. So definitely check that out.
Oh, definitely. And to George's point for Citrico Central, once he drops the information on social media about that live stream for the 300 subs, I will be posting it on my channel alongside with the social medias on my side. So that way we can show George and Citrico Central community some love. Definitely go check out his channel. He just got back from Walt Disney World. Epic Universe has a lot of amazing content. And George, I want to ask you real quick before we go, you have a new segment on your channel where you and your wife Abby go to these restaurants and you let waiters pick the food. What's that all about?
Yeah, so we actually started out with, which we still do on the channel, where we have the person in front of us basically order for us. So whatever the person in front of us orders, that's what we get. And we've been doing that at Disneyland. And then there was a time where it just didn't work out that, for the scheduling. And we thought, well, why don't we just do a sit down dinner at Downtown Disney, and we thought, well, how about we have the waiter literally choose for us, and we literally document it. We record it as it's happening, so we don't know. We always say, give us, 2 appetizers, or sometimes 2 appetizers, but usually maybe 1, and then 2 entrees, and then a dessert. And then we basically just like let the waiter or the waitress just go crazy, and we never know what we're going to get.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Again, I want to thank everybody in the chat for the birthday wishes, all the texts from my fellow content creators. Always a great time talking to all of them. It was a little unfortunate Mondo couldn't make it, but I will have him back on the channel. And when we do, we will definitely have Junior, we'll definitely have George, and we'll definitely have Tommy Toonwell, and we'll get down to business because he has a lot of input to share, and I cannot wait to talk to him about it. And again, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Have a good night, everybody.